What do the words depression and suicide mean to you?
Well, I have something called major depressive disorder, which is clinical depression. It runs in my family. My grandmother died by suicide, my great aunt, my mother. Major depressive disorder is not just being sad or having the blues. It's a condition that recurs, lasts 2 days to 2 weeks, and like a flat spot on a wheel, it comes around every so often.
Mm-hmm.
That's clinical depression or major depressive disorder. And the other thing I have is called chronic suicidal ideation, which means for me and people in my tribe, the option of suicide is always on the menu as a solution for problems large and small. And the story I tell is, my car broke down a couple of years ago. I had 3 thoughts unbidden. 1, get it fixed. 2, buy new. And 3, I could just kill myself. That's chronic suicidal ideation. And the most rewarding part of the job, besides the paycheck, is that every time I've spoken except once, somebody in the audience has chronic suicidal ideation, and they didn't know it had a name. They thought they were just some kind of freak all alone. And a woman came up to me after a show and she goes, I appreciate your keynote, but it made me weep. I said, how did it make you weep? She goes, you know your story about the car, get it fixed, buy a new one, you could kill yourself? She goes, I've been having those thoughts all my life. I thought I was some kind of freak. I heard it come out of your mouth and I realized for the first time in my life that I was not alone, and I wept. So that's my why. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah. You mentioned that suicide runs in families, and that's kind of an interesting thing because a lot of people don't realize that happens. That suicide runs in families.
Yeah, it's called generational depression and suicide.
Yeah, and you mentioned you had several people in your family die of suicide.
Yeah. My grandmother died by suicide. My mother found her. My great aunt died by suicide. My mother and I found her. I was 4 years old. I screamed for days. And my mother, I believe, died by suicide slowly with cigarettes and alcohol.